So welcome everyone. Today we will be discussing the topic of prosperity. And this is another take on it. And as I was preparing for today, I reviewed last time's lesson and added on to it. I discovered that this will not be it. So probably for the months to come, we will continue on the topic of prosperity because it's really so vast. And however you can attack it or however you can look at it, this is eventually how you will grow. I have one purpose for today's hour that we will spend together, is that you finally accept the idea of prosperity. Once you accept it intellectually, then you are easily able to transfer it into your subconscious mind. If that happens, then automatically prosperity will be your so to speak, your default. So this is what I wish for you to take away as of your spending your hour with me today. But I want you for now on your journal to write down this question for you to get the maximum value. Are you ready? Okay. What are you expecting to get as a result of you attending this session today? As an exchange of your time, what are you expecting to get? Expect is the key word. I'll give you a minute and then we will resume. You have it? Yeah. So why do I do that? I do this in every session I teach, or even in my corporate meetings, because I want people around me to be intentional. What does that mean? That is not falling by default. You are in a position of power and you are very, very clear in your mind, what am I going to get in the next hour? Or as a result of me getting on this call, or as a result of me attending this meeting, and so forth. If you train your mind to be intentional, your life will be purposeful. And this is what I wish for you. So let's recap what happened last time when we discussed prosperity. We had a definition of prosperity is that it's the mental state of being whole and complete, free and empowered, without needing anything and having everything that you need, right? So that was the definition. I'm aware my voice is cracking, so anything that you don't understand, let me know. So that was the definition, and to say it, it's easy. To live it, it's a whole different ball game. So, and then I broke it down for you into few steps. So the feeling of prosperity is a feeling of power, the feeling of joy, and the immediate feeling that follows through after that is gratitude. So once you are in a position of power, or you have this joy in your heart because you have experienced prosperity, or you are in a state of prosperity, you will experience that, oh, naturally, I want to give thanks. I want to give gratitude. So these are your clues to check where you are in. The state of mind that you are in is contentment. And we said that contentment is different than satisfaction. And today I will go into detail about that. The image that comes with prosperity is the image of plenty, the image of flourishing, multiplying. So when you look at your bank account and you don't get that feeling, definitely you are not in a state of prosperity. I want to talk a little bit about that. So when you look at your bank account and you don't see the money that you wish to have, let's say you see less, or you don't have enough to cover your bills, whatever is the situation, if you can look at the number mutually, neutral, meaning that you don't have a feeling of good or bad, plenty or less, then you can exercise prosperity in that very moment. Because although what you have is not what you want, although what you have is not what you want, it's still plenty to many. If you can consciously understand that or bring yourself into harmony with that, you will transition to experience prosperity. So the image of plenty or flourish can start with the seed that you have right now. A lot of people, they ask me, they say, Fatima, I can't be in a state of joy when I can't pay my bills. I can't be in a state of joy when I don't have the love that I desire in my life, or I don't have the children, or I don't have the job, or I don't have the marks for those who are students. And that is such a trap that we can easily fall into. The way out is to be grateful for what we have and look at what we have as plenty. If we can do that, that's an easier transition. The quality of the character is generosity, and that is truly key. You cannot be prosperous with withholding. It doesn't work that way. You cannot be prosperous and not be generous in heart, in thoughts, in behavior with others. So you want to examine that. If your character naturally is not generous, you are lacking some aspect of prosperity. That doesn't mean financial prosperity, by the way, because we have a lot of people who are not generous, so to speak, and they are filthy rich, but they're very, very cheap, so to speak, in terms of they don't like spending. So what is that all about? They are not in a state of whole and complete, right? So they are not in a state of contentment. So you want to filter the definition through everything that this person is doing and saying. The overall experience with prosperity is freedom. This is what we discussed last time. And the action, 5 actions that you are taking. Those actions, I will dedicate a full class to go into them in details. I discussed this very, very in greater details with example inside the coaching program. So the action is, first you start with recognition. You look at your bank account, there's little money or there's a lot of money. At the end of the day, you have some money in. So you recognize that. You look, for example, at your window, you see trees with lots of leaves. You recognize that's a symbol of prosperity. You walk, for example, by the bank, you recognize, oh, how many millions, billions are in this bank. You walk by school, you recognize plenty of students in here. So that's prosperity. So it doesn't need necessarily to be linked with finance. This is what I'm trying to say. If you are able to recognize all aspects of prosperity around you, then you are in action toward prosperity. The second step is association. The second action that you're taking is association. So first of all, you recognize. The second of all, you're associating with it. The third step is demanding. That's really difficult for people to accept and do. And I'll teach you and train you on that. And then the fourth one is giving, prosperity. The fifth one, the last one, is receiving. People want to skip all these levels or these steps. They want to go from recognition or desire to receiving. Okay, we have some work to do in between. And this is where I see a lot of people fall into the trap of law of attraction or manifestation. And I'm a little bit not a fan of law of attraction because it's just a false premise. There is other work that needs to be done as foundational work for you to be openly receiving prosperity that you desire. So let's go into the difference between state of contentment and satisfaction. So I'll open it up for discussion. In your opinion, in your view, what's the difference between being content and being satisfied? I want you to think first before you jump to answer. What's the difference? Okay, who would like to take a shot? Yes, Carol, good morning.
Good morning. I would say contentment is feeling prosperous in all circumstances. And satisfaction means, okay, I'm making it,
Yeah,
but not prosperous
yeah,
necessarily.
you touched on it. That's very good. That's a very good awareness. All right, who else? Since today we are a smaller group, you guys are going to go, all of you. Kevin, you want to take a shot from an intellectual point of view?
So, prosperity. So, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, the difference between contentment and satisfaction.
Um, I think contentment is the long term. You know that it's being in that being connected to that source all the time.
Yeah,
It's like you know that it's gonna be like ever. It's not never gonna be ending. So that's contentment.
that's
And
good.
then satisfaction is temporary. Like eat ice cream and you're satisfied, and then you know that it's not gonna last long.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's really good. You touched on it. Just for the interest of time, I'll give it to you. Um, in my point of view, this is all point of view that I have. You don't have to accept it. You can only consider it. But I will invite it to put it to test and see how it works for you. Last time we talked about being God-centric and being egocentric. So contentment is the state that will allow you to be God-centric, meaning God is the center of everything and you are spinning around it. Versus satisfaction is egocentric, and I'll explain why. Satisfaction is a state that, okay, I got what I wanted in terms of desire, goal, target. I got it. I wanted $10,000. I got $10,000. I wanted a child. I have a child. I wanted to score at school. I got the marks at school. You are satisfied with the bare minimum. You made it. So you are satisfied. You are okay where you are. And then you cannot stay in that state for long because you want more. And more is your natural desire. Like it's a natural desire. It's your God-given right to want more, but you are not staying at that state of satisfaction. So soon you will transition to be dissatisfied, displeased, and wanting the next thing. Make sense, guys? Contentment is completely different. Contentment is a state of happiness. How can you be happy when you are content? Like, meaning it's a mental and emotional drawn from the state of being at ease, meaning being at peace with one situation. So you are at ease and then you are in peace. So with satisfaction, you are not at ease. Something is boiling. You want to go to the next thing. It's temporary. And with contentment, no, you are good. Where you are is fine. You are whole and complete. There is nowhere to go. You got everything you wanted. I want you to examine this as I'm talking. I want you to just close your eyes and examine this. So you are being at ease in body, spirit, and emotion. So your mind is at ease. Your body is at ease. Your spirit is at ease. Your emotions are at ease. You cannot look at someone and say, oh, I wonder how come they have, I don't have. You will not experience that because what you have is enough. What you have is okay. It's beyond, is more than what you need. So this is the state of contentment. Contentment says, if contentment had a voice or a communication with you, it will say, where I am is whole and complete, and it brings me joy. No one can pursue you if you are in that state for anything less than or more than. It's just perfect. This is what Eckhart Tolle says: staying in the now. Staying in the now, or being present in the moment without creating the past or creating the future. This is the state of contentment. So nothing needs to be achieved. No place you need to go. You are already all right. You already have arrived, and where you are is where you are experiencing peace and joy. So you wanna filter that through your goals, right? So you have goals. You want to achieve $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, $100,000 a month. Are you satisfied or are you content? It's a very difficult question to ask yourself. When I was able to discover my ego, when I challenged myself with these questions, I realized that I'm never satisfied, man. I'm never satisfied. Okay, so if I'm never satisfied, when am I going to be content? When this will be enough? This is what have me shift from chasing clients in my business when I started launching my coaching business to no, I don't really need clients. And they started to chase me. So this is one of the mindset shifts that happened for me. So contentment is a state that requires emotional mastery. It's less mind, it's more emotion. Satisfaction, it's analytical. You guys get this? So with satisfaction, you will be happy with bare minimum. So a young graduate from school, they are applying for jobs. They want $60,000 to begin with, but if they got a job for 30, they will take it. You rarely see a young graduate who will refuse a job and they go for the 60,000. They will accept the first job. So what does that tell you? This is where they are willing to settle and they are satisfied with that for now, but they will continue to job hunt to reach the next and then the next level. Okay, so contentment requires emotional mastery, and to achieve it, you need three things to achieve contentment. Number one, you need to accept what it is, regardless of what it is. If you are in debt, if you are prosperous financially, if you are challenged with your health, if you are in health and vitality, whatever your situation is, you have to accept it as it is without changing anything. And then number two, you move from acceptance to being grateful for it. That step number one is hard. Step number two is easier. Step number three is extremely difficult, which is wanting it. Are you crazy, Fatima? Do you want me to want my hardship? Yeah. If you can want it, then this situation has no power over you. It does not control you. It does not limit your freedom. Prosperity, wealth, and freedom, they go hand in hand. So if you are not prosperous, that means you're not free. Satisfaction doesn't give you the experience of freedom. It's temporary. Contentment gives you the experience of freedom. So your pathway or the bridge for you to cross over to prosperity is to experience contentment. And how can you do that? You accept what it is, you be grateful for it, and then you want it. You wouldn't change anything. I challenge you to examine that for yourself. It's not easy, but it's doable. I did it. Okay, with satisfaction, there's always this desire to improve it. So keyword is improvement. What does that tell you? It's not good enough. People say, oh, people chase money because they are greedy. That's false. People chase money because they are not satisfied with what they got. Greed has nothing to do with it. You guys get this? So
Can you say that sentence again?
yeah. So people, go ahead.
If there's always a desire to improve it, it tells you you're not good enough. Is that what it? Is that what you said?
Yes. So when there's this desire to improve the thing, whatever is the thing, nothing wrong with that. It tells that there's always room for growth. Amazing. Which the other side of it. So every communication, if you apply the law of polarity, you have two sides of it. What it tells that this is not good enough. Okay, let's apply this to contentment. When you are good with what you have, you naturally rise to the next level. Why? Because the nature of life is growth, is expansion. You will not be left where you are. It's impossible. Do you look like when you were in your 20s? No. How come? You didn't do anything. Time passes, right? With contentment, let's say I have a job. I'm working as an employee, 9 to 5. I love my job. I do the best at it. I love it so much that I don't want to change it. I'm good where I am. Don't you think that the management will naturally promote me because I'm so good at it? Although I don't, that's not my aspiration. This job is good enough for me. I'm content. I don't feel that I'm missing out on anything. I don't feel I'm not paid well. I don't feel all those feelings that promote dissatisfaction. So what happens, applying the laws of the universe in the situation, you naturally be promoted. You naturally will be taken to the next level, although you were never seeking it. Same with power. The power is always given, or responsibility is given to those who don't want it. Money chases those who don't want it. This is where you see that the rich get richer and poor gets poorer, like more and more poverty. It's exactly the same thing. You guys get this? This is deep. So I'm not giving you surface level information or surface level kind of ideas. I challenge you to go deeper and deeper and deeper, so you are consciously aware and consciously creating. So if I have this phone and this phone is functioning fine and I'm not satisfied with it, that means I'm resenting it. That means this will stay for quite some time. Versus I have this phone, I'm so loving it, I don't really need another phone. This is, I don't know, iPhone 10, 9, I'm not so sure. It's old, it's not new. But I'm so happy. So what ends up happening, life, universe, God, whatever you want to call it, will give you the newest version because you didn't ask for it. It was not a desire for you to go there because you were missing something. You were in a state of flow. You were in a state of gratitude. It's okay. You're complete where you are. You're not missing out on anything. You guys get this? So in my business, I always have clients chasing me. I don't need to prospect. I don't need to lead generate. Every business need lead generation. But because I don't have staff, it's only me. I have people who are on contract. I have no desire to build a team. Maybe in the future, year one, or to kind of run ads and bring leads and do, because what I have is enough. You guys get this? So if you apply this principle, this idea in other areas, you will examine it. When you examine it, you will discover for yourself that could be your point of breakthrough. It was for me. This is what helped me go from, although I come from a wealthy family, I did have a healthy mindset with regard to money. That got screwed up when I immigrated to Canada. So I lived in a very poor condition. I lived in a basement apartment. I did not have a job. I went for minimum wage. So my whole mindset shifted negatively. To bring it back, these are the things that help me bring it back. And I'm offering it to you. So with contentment, there is this state of perfection. So this is not what I mean with perfectionism. This is not, right? It's perfect. What I have is perfect. Therefore, if this is perfect in your business, For those who are launching, you say, this is perfect. I don't need to add, I don't need to remove. I don't need to continuously work on this. So you launch it. Even quote unquote in other people's eyes, not perfect, but with you is good enough. It's perfect. You are content with it. Versus if you are satisfied, you know that, okay, this is lacking X thing, but I'm gonna do it anyways. Therefore, what you are, there is this assumption that you are holding that this has not been perfect, probably my results will not match it. Versus if you are content, meaning I accept what it is right now, this is my effort. This is my effort. I'm content with my effort. I'm grateful that I'm here with what I got, and I want what I have. I don't want to hire an expert designer. I don't want to hire a website developer. I don't need to buy ads. I don't need to do XYZ. I'm content with my effort. I'm satisfied with it. Therefore, you launch. Because you are in a state of whole and complete, that's perfect, it's not missing any component. What do you think the outcome will be? A match to the state that you are in. You're not holding an assumption that you're not good enough. You're not holding an assumption that what you have is not good enough. So the thing and yourself are perfect. It's a perfect match. Because the state of contentment is what? You are at ease. You are in joy. You are in peace. Therefore, there is no room for judgment. You guys get this? There's no room for criticism. There is no room for self-doubt. Therefore, you are expressing yourself as you are, authentically as you are, and you're launching your business. You're applying for the job. You are asking this woman out or this man out. You're establishing a family, and so forth and so forth. All the things that people want to do. You're going for that exam for those who are students. So it's truly key. If you can walk away today with this distinction between contentment and satisfaction, and you start to apply it in your life, watch some magic starts to happen. Watch your self-image and your self-confidence to rise. So a state of perfect is not you being perfectionism. You want to distinguish that for yourself. So true prosperity, which I mean a spiritual prosperity, will come to you when you are experiencing a state of contentment. Because you are whole and complete, at ease, experiencing joy with what you have. There's nowhere to go. Because what? Because you have everything you want, and everything that you want will come to you. But you don't need it. Questions? Did I puzzle your mind? I bet I did, which is good. That
Yeah,
yeah.
it seems like a shift.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's how I live. I feel that I am content and joy. And that's why for me to think of the goal or the thing that I want, I always just say, I mean, really in my heart, God and me and God are one. I want to experience that and truly trust that. So that's where I'm not content because I am more that now, but I'm not quite there. But I really am happy all the time and content. What got me was I was talking with somebody and what I really want when I was saying that I want to be able to return to everybody who's given to me more than I was given. That gives me the greatest joy. And she said, well, go for that. And I thought, as my professional goal, then I want that freedom to be able to give more than I was given to. back.
So is it me who's breaking out, or you guys are, or Carol, you did break out?
Oh, I guess I did. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. So I did not hear a good part of what you were saying, but I was commenting on the first part that I heard, that to be in a state of contentment, you want to examine it. Am I satisfied? This is the first order. And then can you accept what it is? Trust me, a lot of people I coach, they are not accepting what it is. Fully accepting it. In your heart, you are at peace. And to the degree that you say thank you for what it is, to the degree that you say, I want what it is, don't change anything. A lot of people, they cannot do that. They cannot do that. So to live the life that you love is to really want, first step is to want what you currently have. But this is not what we taught. We were taught to launch a desire. Great, I'm 100% with that. To have a goal, I'm 100% with that. Go after your goals. Great. What ends up happening, and I'm noticing that, excuse me, my voice, with a lot of my clients, that as they go toward their goal, there's this state of, I don't know, annoyance, or a state of dissatisfaction, or, okay, where's my stuff? Where is my goal? I did the work. You know, why it's not happening? Where is my money? Where is my partner? Where is my admission to the school, or whatever it is that they want? So they are questioning the process. And this is where they lose faith. So it's not one single component. They build onto each other. I strongly believe if you take what I say and examine it, it will create a major shift in your manifestation process. If you have not been able to attract the thing that you want, if you have not been able to experience prosperity on the terms that you want, examine where you are with contentment and satisfaction. Yes, Gay, my friend, good morning. Or is it evening for you?
It's good morning, Fatima. It's 1:30 in the morning.
Oh my God, that's commitment. I truly admire you.
Thank you. And as you know, I've shared a bit with you, so I've got to go back to bed after this, then get up early to take my husband off to have a special scan. My question, it's been lovely. I've had an aha moment with what you're talking about there when it comes to, you know, getting close to wanting to launch a business, the coaching. That's given me, I've written that down, that's given me quite an aha moment for having the contentment, how to be in contentment with the outcome and all those things. That I've written that down. That's extremely helpful. So the question I've got now, because you're covering, you know, lots of things, is how at the moment I put that towards the situation I'm in with my husband. You know, when you might get into a kind of a possible life and death situation, and I'm praying and I'm trying to visualize and believe for a good outcome. How could I put that towards that?
Let me answer your question in two folds. Two examples. When I was doing the Anatomy of Wealth workshop last week, 2 weeks ago, I don't know, I forgot when it was, 22nd, okay? In the middle of it, I received a text message. My husband was crying in the morning. I see him, and I don't know what the hell is going on with him. I didn't even go to ask because I was focused with the group. So I thought, okay, maybe his parents or something. I sent him love, and I just let it be. I will talk to him at the end of the day, right? So my husband takes himself out. My daughter, she goes out with him. They did not want to disturb me, but I receive a text message. They are telling me about my father's situation. I'm in the middle of the class. I'm teaching, right? Usually I put my phone away. That day my phone was on my desk and I saw it. Okay, in this very moment, as I'm talking, I have a choice to make. So I chose to trust and leave this whole matter to the hands of God, because technically I have no control over it. I can influence the outcome. I cannot change the outcome, because the outcome has been already written from before in his fate and mine, right? So this is one aspect. So when I did that, when I surrendered to God, I was already at peace. Did you guys see me go back to the recording? Did you see me upset or sad? I did not. It's not that I don't have emotions, but it's not that I have a poker face. It's just that I'm mentally and emotionally was strong in that moment. I'm experiencing all of this. I say, okay, I accept this fact. I'm so grateful that my dad had a stroke. He did not die. He could have dead, right? Died, sorry. He could be he could have been dead by now. He had 2 strokes, and he stayed in intensive care for a very long time. He's still by today. He's still inside the hospital. His condition is not good, but I'm accepting it. I'm grateful for it. I want his condition as it is right now. I don't want to change a thing, because that's God's plan. You guys get this? So if I'm surrendering to God's plan, I can make a request. I can ask to be strong. I can ask for him to be healed. And when I'm in that state of flow, of alignment with the plan that is already there with God Almighty, he has his plan. Like, imagine you going against a government official and you're against them. That creates what? It's a battle. Versus you are aligned with them. They are more receptive to your ideas. I follow exactly the same principle. So when I'm in that position, I say, God, I trust you. I give this to you. Don't let me down. I request what I want. This is what I want. You give me better, whatever that better looks like. So when the better comes off on the other side, let's say my father passes away. I don't get to see him. I don't get to say goodbye to him. Then when I ask for better and I trust God because I have that kind of relationship with him, then that was better for me, for him, and for everybody. Makes sense? Okay, it's very difficult to do, because I don't want my father to die. I want him to live.
Yes, that is difficult, but I do understand the situation too, because 33 years ago, my husband and I walked through having a baby who was born with a faulty heart, and he did actually end up passing away, even though we went on a journey to a special hospital and all sorts of things. And our faith really guided us through that. But I suppose now I've come a long way, and I'm looking at all of this material, and that, you can perhaps visualize something different. You can know that you go through something because possibly the way you think, or that you can affect your body because of your thoughts. And so I'm just looking at how to process all of that and be proactive.
So 2 things.
And contented.
We have divine order for him, which you cannot change.
Interfere with.
You have your own divine order. You can influence his divine order, meaning you can promote this idea of, your thoughts can influence your health. I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And early stage, they discovered it. So when I have the test, I have everything, like with my doctor. And when I come back to my doctor, she said, we apologize to you. It was a machine's fault. For real, I know I healed myself through my thoughts, through my emotions, through visualization, through my belief, through immense affirmation, and affirmation to me is not affirmation, it's declaration. So I healed myself to the degree that the doctor, they say, you know what, the machine was not, it was a fault from the machine. You are perfectly fine. But it was there. Where did it go? Do you get what I'm saying, eh? But my husband could not interfere with my state. My mother, my father, nobody could. You cannot. You can promote this way of thinking. You can empower him to start to feel differently, to think differently, and believe in the idea of healing. If he does that, he will be healed. This is what I did with my father after the math. He cannot talk still, but I leave him voice messages. I send him recorded videos. And he's happy when the day that I don't send my mother, she said, "Where's your video?" He's asking for it.
Oh, it's lovely.
You give him hope. In your belief, he will start to believe. And after all of that, if God's will is different, then you surrender to that. And that is your own growth. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, let me take you to the business side. Guys, this is helpful for everyone. I hope so, because everyone in here is also in business or trying to launch a business. And those who are watching the recording, you can apply this to other areas as well. When I decided to launch my business, meaning the coaching business, meaning my business, I was working as a consultant for another company. And still, I'm a consultant with other 2 different companies right now as I'm speaking with you. So I decided, you know what? What I have in terms of information is enough. I don't need certification. I don't need association with anyone. Okay, how am I going to go ahead and do that? I picked a name. I did not have a program. I did have an outline of a program. I said 6 months. It cost 30,000. I launched it. This is what I did. It was not ready. It was not perfect. I did not have anything. I did not even have a logo. Nothing. I just had a name. You get, are you hearing what I'm saying? And then when I launched it, what did I do? I extracted my knowledge into curriculum. I created it as I was teaching those people. They trusted me. I did not fail them. Was it perfect? It was not perfect. Can it be improved? 100%. And that is my commitment to my group. So I did have a call with them not too long ago. I told them about my pricing strategy. And if I were to do something down the road, I will come back and share it with them. Why? I owe this to them. They have been the pioneer with me. You can structure your business however you like. You do not need to wait until it's perfectly created, it's done, and then you launch it. Make sense? Yay? So this principle.
Sorry, Fatima. I didn't know you were going to call on me. But
No,
yes, I'm absolutely loving what you're saying on this, what you're talking about now is very, very encouraging. I'm loving it. Thank you.
The key is that you are honest and authentic. The key is that you deliver value. When people give you money, give them at least their money worth in terms of content and value. I go for 10x. This is what I do. But you don't have to go. You can go for 5x, 2x, 3x, 1x, whatever. It's your business, right? But waiting until you're ready, you will never be ready. Ever. Because every day you are improving. Every day you are different. So launch it with what you have. Be satisfied with your effort. Be content with the outcome as it is, and then go forward. Okay, fast forward. I launched Anatomy of Wealth in English. I did it in another language, so this one was in English. I do the same format, workshop. I did have a good audience. But those who registered for the actual course, only 2 people. Actually, they were more, they moved to private. Is that embarrassment for me? No. Am I, I don't know what's the word. Like, am I embarrassed publicly? Like, I will be human? Why? I'm so grateful. I'm so accepting this outcome. 2 people will get me for private cost at a dirt cheap, whatever they paid. They paid what, 11,000? It costs 150,000 to coach with me privately. So they are going to get me for a very, convenient price for them. I'm so happy for those people who are joining me. And those who wanted private, they moved to private. So over 3 people moved to private. This launch is close to $1 million launch. Off the record, on the surface, you see only 2 people in a class. People tend to judge the outcome, but there's a lot more that you guys are not seeing. Last week I was away. I was part of a couple of $100 million deal, structuring and negotiating. So who does that? But I was 100% satisfied with my effort. I delivered over 22 hours of content. So people don't really need it to come to the program, to the coaching program. I'm happy with that. That was my desired outcome. And my good came from a different venue. Makes sense? Versus people are hung up on this course that they want to sell because their prosperity is coming through or their money is coming through the sale. Your money is not coming through the sale. The sale is only one channel of prosperity. But guess what? Throughout the process, I did not resent a human being. I did not resent for a second the outcome. I accepted it. I paid gratitude for it. And more is coming, and more is coming, and more is coming. But on the surface, it looks like a failure. Only 2 registered. It's a complete different way to look at it. And there's a lot is happening in the unseen world for other people and also for yourself that you are not in a position to judge. You should not judge it. Okay, this is really good because I wanted to go to the next segment, which is what's preventing you from experiencing satisfaction or contentment in your life. I want you to think about that. What is preventing you from experiencing satisfaction or contentment in your life? I have 8 reasons. Let's see how many you can come up with. I'll give you a minute. Okay, just for the interest of time, I'll give them to you. So these things will push your satisfaction and contentment equally, your prosperity away from you. Number 1, judgment of yourself or others. So you want to ask yourself, have you been judging, yourself or others, or your outcomes, or your efforts? Number 2, gossip. What is gossip? Gossip truly is wasting this expensive currency that you have, your power, over nonsense. What is that currency? Your words. They are powerful. There's power behind your words. And you're wasting it on talking about something that is not going to add or remove. It will remove from you, but it's not going to add to you. And gossip is talking about people or things in a negative way. I catch myself. So when I wanted to make the transition, I catch myself every time I want to gossip, start talking about the person in a good way, like praise them, acknowledge them. I don't want to do that. Trust me. I want to bring them down. They did whatever they did. But in the moment, if I start to open my mouth and gossip, by the way, it's forbidden in my religion. It's one of the big sins. But when I start to gossip, I catch myself, I start to praise them, acknowledge them for what they are good at. Obviously, I don't want to do that either, so I stop gossiping naturally. Number 3, this is very key, making fun of. Yeah, we make a lot of fun of a lot of people. You have to kind of prevent yourself from doing that. You have to stop doing that. So this is very common. People make fun of politicians. They make fun of governments, or they make fun of other countries, other religions, other characters, other race. What are we saying? Oh, I'm better than. Prejudice, right? So refrain from making fun of anyone. Labeling, black or white, fat, slim, smart, dumb, we say these things. So refrain from labeling, prevent yourself from doing that. Including situations. So when people say, oh, I have been in a bad luck kind of steroid, something like that, people say, I have been in this situation, it's stagnant. Who gave you permission to label it as that? Nothing is permanent, So labeling situations, events, people, races, stuff like that, you have to prevent yourself. You have to refrain from doing that. Number 5, very common, complaining about the weather, about the currency, about the economy, about your client, your teacher, or whatever, your spouse, your health, your eyesight, whatever. The minute you start complaining, you are not in a state of contentment. You are not satisfied. Therefore, you are not taking responsibility. Number 6, very common. I was guilty of it. Holding grudges. My my excuse or alibi was, I want to protect myself. That's why I hold a grudge. Bullshit. There's no such thing. I held grudges because I couldn't forgive. This is really at the bottom. This is where it was. Number 7, envy and jealousy, especially with your competitors in the marketplace. If you see another lady who's more beautiful than you, more prosperous than you, or a man, if you have another student in your class that is achieving more than what you're achieving with least effort. So it's so easy that we become envious and experience jealousy. You want to refrain and do structures to prevent yourself from doing that. Number 8 is really deep. This will guarantee that will put you in a state of poverty. The feeling of injustice. What do we say? Oh, that was not right. I can't believe this thing happened. This is not fair. What do I say? What am I saying as I'm doing that? I'm saying clear and loud that I don't deserve this. Actually, we only get what we deserve. So if what you're experiencing right now is not to your liking, increase your worth. Because you are a match to what you got. Oh, Fatima, that's so harsh. Does that mean I'm a bad person? Nobody said anything about you being a bad person. You have been doing the bad things, the wrong things, unconsciously. You were not aware. You have been gossiping, you have been complaining, you have been doing this and that. What do you expect to happen? Each one of these things, points I gave you, they have a communication, a realm of communication. They have a universe behind them. They hold a strong belief and assumption. They are sending a loud message. So you want to look, when you gossip, what's the message? When you label another human being, what's the message? You are limiting their freedom. By law, your freedom, you have been the cause of it. The effect will be your freedom will be in one way or another limited. Could it hit your prosperity in terms of finance? 100%. That's the first place it will hit. Because with money, with having financial confidence comes freedom. Why do we want money? Because we want to feel free, to be, to do, to have, to experience. So when you are limiting another human being in one way or another, you are taking their freedom away. So yours will be taken away. So these 8 things, and there is a little bit more, but these are the core 8. They are 100% will prevent you from having experience of prosperity, and will guarantee that you will be in a state of poverty, not only financially, it could be in other aspects of your life. You will say, Fatima, this is really, I disagree, because what about those filthy rich people who are so mean, who are cursing, taking advantage of people, all these kind of things that they do? What about them? Okay, they got rich mechanically, through hard work, through strategies, so through having money to do the work for them. You want to get rich spiritually, meaning you want to have money and you want to have contentment. You want to have money and you want to experience satisfaction in your life. You want to have the money and you want to have the joy. Those people, I know personally, couple who have money, and what they do toward the end of their life, they give it away to charity because they want to compensate for their wrongdoing. You see them heavily involved in social work because now they want to give back what they have done wrong when they were younger. You will see their children are not happy. You see themselves, their health is suffering. There's so much that you are not seeing, but on the surface you see, oh, this person is rich and they steal, they killed, they did that, and you have to see the whole picture to judge it. But it cannot be, in my experience, it cannot be. If you are taking someone's freedom away, if you are stepping in some of their values, by law, some of your values will be taken away from you. Make sense? And remember, God can only do for you what you are willing to do for yourself. What does that mean? When you are clearing and cleaning your channels of receiving by removing these 8 behaviors, consciously removing them, consciously honoring the other human being on the other side, you are worthy to receive because you have done the work. So receive through work, maybe through people giving you whatever you want, maybe through you winning the lottery, maybe through having luck, maybe. I don't know. The channels are endless. Okay, I saw you had a question. Resolved?
Fatima, it's another another conscience statement, just to sort of add in.
Yeah.
So I don't want to take long, but I just want to say it because you mentioned something that brought it to mind earlier. So I'm I'm in a church I've been in for over 20 years, a specific church with my family, and that's been great. But since COVID and the way things have gone, our pastor has taken another track where he's protesting, leading the church in protest against the government and how our government is responding. And most of my family, my husband and I, we're not having bad attitudes, or we're keeping a straight heart, but we aren't participating in protesting because, and for me personally, it's been more about growing and shining my light in my corner, because that's where I feel if I'm going to change the world, the greater power in God is for me to stay in a state of not judging the government, not standing up and being more accepting, but yet making the change in my own personal life.
Yeah. So this is really key what you said right there. I want to explain a little bit, elaborate more. Let's first of all take one step back. Why would these eight are character-wise? This immediately affect your self-image, your identity. Is there other reasons? 100%. I can give you a whole list. These eight immediately lower your the parameter of your deservedness. What's the word? Like how much you deserve to receive. This is what's affecting it directly. There's direct correlation. Okay, so this is why I mentioned it. Now, why this promote poverty? Why I'd say prevent yourself through structures you put, and forbid yourself, refrain making that kind of decision to do these kind of things. Why? Because fundamentally these behaviors promote separation. I want you guys to get this. So let's discuss God. What is God? God is a conscious of being. And now there is you, the man or the human. Who are you? You also are a conscious of being. So if God is conscious of being, man is conscious of being, what is man? Man is God. In essence, right? So if I come and say, my prime minister, for example, he's doing crazy things, right? And I say, off the record, I'm not saying about my prime minister, this is just an example. My principal, school principal. If I say my school principal, she's an idiot. What did I do? I labeled her. She passes a thing that, from a rule, from now on, you should come to school without wearing your headscarf. Just example, right? Okay, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna protest against it. Fundamentally, this behavior is not gonna go anywhere. It will create more separation. Why? Because I have now separated the behavior from the person. Everything was associated with the person. This is where in politics you see people against Trump or against Biden. It's not Trump, it's not Biden. Trump fundamentally is a nice guy. Biden too. But their behavior is not to your liking. You guys get the difference? The person is whole and complete. You cannot judge them, you cannot label them. The behavior isn't. So where the work needs to be done is on the behavior to correct it. If it's need to be corrected, where we are standing, we are ruled by law, right? Whatever is moral, ethical, and legal. If it doesn't meet those requirements, then it's personal preference. Then when you are coming from a personal preference and you are judging the human being, make sure that you will be 100% limited in one way or another. So your pastor, whatever he did, you are in the engagement or not, you want to make that whatever you're doing, that you are conscious, you are 100% aware. Therefore, your decisions are deliberate. When your decisions are deliberate, they are creation mechanism. With least action, you will produce magnificent results. This is truly key, guys. Versus, no, we are going to do this, we are going to do this. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of effort. You cannot run with that for long. You will be out of breath. Versus, no, I am making a conscious decision. This is where I am. This is what I have done. I am in alignment. Therefore, I'm using the unseen forces to work for me. And this is what a true master or a true leader will do. No different from leading an organization. Do you think a CEO will roll up his sleeves and start working like as an average pay employee? You are in a position of leadership in every stage of your life. Even when you are part of a movement, even when you are part of an event, you are still a leader in that event. Make sense? Okay. I know it's early morning for you. You can go back to the recording, and if you have more questions, we can discuss this in greater detail. But as I told you, my intention for you that you are conscious and you are creating intentionally. Every single thing. I created this session intentionally before I jump on. I am well prepared. I know what I'm going to do with you. Versus, okay, let me open my mouth and talk. Great. When there is time for that, there's time for that. But if you are going to engage physically, emotionally, and spiritually into an activity, in this case, a protest of any kind, by the way, more protests will happen around the world as we will experience a little bit of hunger and lack of resources and market crash, which already started, and depression, which is happening. Then what? Then we are not in a state of creation. And if we are not in a state of creation, we cannot flip this economy. We cannot. It will just go even further.
Can I just add, Fatima?
Go ahead.
Yes, because that is, I'm peacefully, if you're in Canada, yes, and your Prime Minister and our Prime Minister are very similar. And they're coming under a very similar type of banner. So once upon a time, I was a person that stood on a soapbox. I put my hand up. I voiced my opinion. I made my I was not afraid to march or whatever. And I also believe in following your leader. But in this particular instance, I have not done that. We've chosen not to participate because COVID has made me think about what I believe, the power of good versus something that might be different than I think is good. And I want to show that light, which will be, I believe in the economy coming down because I can see what's going on. So what do you do about that? My protest, if you like, is to be successful. In my own life. So I've chosen not to do that protesting.
All right. What could you say was your main takeaway then?
Sorry, I got here I can talk now because I have a new baby. So sorry, guys, I have a little bit limited.
Okay.
So my question is that that was a good, interesting point. You mentioned that whenever you see somebody, think he is or she is a god, next god. Am I understanding correctly? So, for example, if I see somebody that is talk behind me or has something, he is mad at me, so he could be God. So can you explain this?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, listen, my in-laws, they did me wrong like nobody's business. I have people steal from me. I have people cheat on me. I have people do all sorts of stuff. I separate the person from the behavior. In my heart, I have nothing like In the beginning, yes, I want to rip them apart. That's me. That's my character. I feed through anger. But then I realize, I sit down and say, okay, am I really mad at this person? No. Because I'm coming from understanding. If I can understand why they did what they did, then what I'm left with is the behavior. The behavior is not acceptable, right? Then my action is toward the behavior, not toward the person. Who am I to judge the person? I cannot judge it. I cannot judge him or her. I can only judge the behavior. The behavior can change. The person, I don't know. There's so much element that I'm not aware of. Even if I were to judge, is it a fair judgment? My question is always this. It's not, because there is so much that I don't know. So much I'm not aware. So if I can bring understanding to the situation, I can understand where they're coming from, then I will have compassion. Now, do I want to be in relationship with this person? Absolutely not. This is where forgiveness is natural and so easy. Versus holding grudges, right? Versus going and being delusional. In my culture, for example, even if you're upset with someone, you still say hello to them. I don't understand that. So if I have something against someone, I'll go into a clean fight. I will express my thoughts. And then if there is room for reconciliation, great. If there isn't, then I will end the relationship without having grudges. Many people, they say, even my enemies, they have respect for me for just this character, because I don't judge them. I have problem with the behavior. The person is whole and complete because there are what I have within me, the God power, the God characteristics, they have too. What's the difference? In my religion, God says, I created every man and every woman equal. So if we are equal, who am I to bring them down and to demean them and put myself above them just because they did a mistake or they did something? Maybe they change. Maybe they become better than me. And then what? Makes sense? But understanding truly is key. If you can find yourself in a position that you can justify or bring understanding. Justify doesn't make what they did right. What they did is wrong. What they said is wrong. Then what you're left with is your leadership. How are you going to respond to that? What are you going to do about that? Make sense? Yes,
So
Khalid.
you're saying that, trying to understand them and trying to fix the relationship, but if it's not fixable, just forgive them and move on.
No. I don't try to fix anything. I'm a person who walks away from relationship that is not helping. But even when I'm walking, I'm not walking with grudges. I'm not judging the person. Let's say, Nargis, you talk shit about me, right? And I know it. First of all, I'll confront you. I'll say, Nargis, did you do this and this? You will say yes or no. I will know the truth, whatever. I will express my thought. I will say, you know what you did was not right. And depends also if this relationship is important for me or not. If someone is trashing me on social media, I don't give a shit. Let them do whatever they want. They are expressing their thoughts, how they view themselves, not necessarily has to do with me. But let's say you are my cousin and I care about you and you said this, and I will pin you down and I will say, okay, what the hell is going on? Why did you say what you said? What's behind it? And if there isn't anything behind it, then what I'm left with is a choice. Do I want to continue to be in a good relationship with you or not? I cannot make that choice right now without experiencing the fact or examining the fact. This is what people do in relationship, husband and wife. They get upset over something, there is no communication, and then they walk away. I walk away after I have given my piece, so to speak.
Almost get it.
Okay, good. You have to be at a different mindset when you are dealing with issues like that. Like you are stepping into the leader that you are. And that is truly power versus, okay, she did, I will do, fighting or walking away. And then I have broken relationships because everything is energy. When you don't have a complete circle, you have created a field around you. And we discussed this in the VIP day. So you don't want that. What you want, and because you cannot remove it, but you can create new one. You can deactivate it, and you have to create new one. So instead of doing all this hard work, I rather not to judge the person. I have issue with the behavior. Let me go work on what is my issue with the behavior. If it's valid, great. If it's not valid, then I have reconciliate with myself. The person could be absolutely correct. And it's me, it's my growth. How do we know that if we are not examining it? Make sense?
Yeah, makes sense. So another question I had is that for a current situation, there's the people, or even they call themselves self-made millionaire or billionaire. They are very, very rich and successful, but they're rich. You said that they got their being rich through the mechanic. So their parents are rich too, and they're mean. They are not really cool people. They're using some, in my probably I'm using judgment, but I don't understand why they have wealth through generation for them without going through these changes. These changes, this behavior is something, for example, don't gossip or something like that. It's something that is in my heart, pure heart, because I'm so honest person too. I like it and I want the life to be like that. But why they have, there is people in the world, they have a lot of wealth through generation, and they don't have this kind of behavior. And
yeah,
when
I answered this question, I answered it already. But here's the thing, like you can give the mechanics of getting rich to a monkey, and a monkey can get rich. There is no art in that. But where is the mastery? Where is fulfillment? Where is contentment? Where is having spiritual and material wealth? This is a whole different ballgame. You have leaders, for example, who are rich for themselves, and then they have all sorts of problems. They cannot sleep at night because they are worried about protecting their wealth, for example. We don't know the other side of the story. But like mathematics, if you 1 + 1 = 2, with spirituality, with prosperity in the spiritual realm, 1 + 1 = 11, not 2. This is what I want for you. This is the state that you stay in, that nobody can touch you. Nobody can do anything wrong for you because they are not doing it to you, they are doing it to them. When you lose it, you can make it right away. If you combine the strategy, the mechanic, with the proper mindset, imagine the state of wealth that you can have. But can people have wealth without spirituality? Yes. Can people have wealth through prostitution, through pornography, through killing people, through selling guns and stuff? 100%. One thing that I am about to change in the world is that the organ transfers, like there is a whole industry of people who are kidnapping kids and young adults to kill them, to sell their organs. That's a business. People make money out of that. Is it right? Is it wrong? It's not right. It's not right. Okay, what am I going to do about that? That's my leadership. That's my cause. That's my movement. This is what I'm about to change. But making money or money itself it has no discrimination. It can go to the good person. It can go to the bad person. Money as a substance is an amplifier. It will bring the best or the worst out of people. So whatever they have in their heart, this is what will come in the surface. This is what I'm saying for those who are aspiring to become wealthy. Work on the character first. Follow the laws. That's the effortless, easier way. And if you lose it, you didn't lose anything to begin with. You can make it right away. without scarcity, without being afraid, without having the anxiety, the worry, the dissatisfaction, none of that. Make sense? If you go back to history and you research people who became wealthy through wrong means, you will see that they did not sustain that wealth. They lost it. They did not keep it. They lost their children. They lost their reputation. They had to start over. Like once you lose your reputation, what's the price tag on that? I don't know. Versus if you do the right things and you take care of people with you, you will become an institution on itself. You will create culture. And this is what we are missing. Societies, they don't have proper culture. And that's why people go against the corporation, against the government, against the education system, because it's not empowering to them. And I saw Carol, she had a question and she left. So let's leave it at that. We said 1 hour, it's already 1 hour and 40 minutes. I'll let you leave the room so I can read the questions for those who are watching the recording. And if you guys have any other questions, post them inside the Facebook. Thank you so much for coming. A lot of people are having engagement, so they will be watching the recording. I hope that you will debrief this call for yourself and say, okay, what did I learn? Did I fulfill on my intention? Remember in the beginning of the call, you had an intention. Did I get that for me? What are my takeaways? 1, 2, 3, list them down. This is how you solidify the learning for yourself, and then create an action plan. Remember I told you forbid yourself. How would you forbid yourself? You create an action, a structure, a strategy, an action plan. So you make sure you don't fall by default into these things. So you catch yourself, and then it becomes a habit. First, we change the behavior, and then the habit will change easier. It will be easier to change the habit. All right. Thank you so much for coming. Have a wonderful, prosperous day, and I will see you next time.